You're a responsible gun owner. You've trained, you've practiced, and you carry for one reason: to protect yourself and the people you love. But let's be real. The fight you're most likely to face won't be some clear-cut life or death ambush. It's going to be messy. It'll be ambiguous. It will probably start with something stupid: a parking spot, a shoulder bump, a spilled drink, or a sharp word in a checkout line. At that moment, the single most important self-defense skill you have isn't how fast you can draw. It's how well you can keep the situation from ever getting there in the first place. If you get value out of this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It would be much appreciated as we make a dash for 2,000 subs. Let's get to it. The second you decide to carry a firearm, your definition of winning has to change. Think of your firearm like a fire extinguisher. You have it for the absolute worst case scenario, but your real job is fire prevention. If a fight happens at all, the fire has already started, and you've already lost.
I never lose.
The real win is getting home safe, no story to tell. But that victory requires a totally different set of skills, not just being good with your firearm, but having the mental toughness and verbal tools to shut down a threat before it ever needs a physical answer. In this video, we're not just talking about de-escalation. We're breaking down the fundamental shift in mindset that's required of a responsible armed citizen. This is about learning to project a kind of confidence that doesn't provoke conflict, but actually takes it apart, making sure you and your family are the only ones who come out on top. Before we get to the how, we have to lock down the why. Why is avoiding a fight much more important than winning one? Because even a good shoot, a legally justified defensive use, is like winning a head-on car collision. You may have been in the right, but your life is still totaled, and you have a long, painful recovery ahead. First, the legal storm. The moment police arrive, your life is turned upside down. You'll be detained and your gun will be taken as evidence. You are now the main character in a serious investigation. You're going to need a lawyer fast. The legal fees for defending yourself after a self-defense incident can be financially devastating, potentially running into the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you ever have to use force, you can bet the prosecutors and juries will pick apart every action you took leading up to that moment. They'll ask, could you have left? Did you help start the conflict? Did you act like the aggressor? An aggressive attitude or a failure to disengage can be used to argue that you weren't afraid for your life and therefore weren't acting in self-defense at all. Then there is the risk of a civil lawsuit. Even if you're cleared of any criminal charges, the person you shot or their family can still sue you. These lawsuits can pose a significant financial risk regardless of the outcome of the criminal case. And finally, there is a psychological toll. The aftermath of a violent encounter can lead to significant distress, including anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress. It can change you forever. Those sounds and those sights don't just disappear when the threat is over. When you add it all up, the legal, financial, and emotional fallout, you realize that the best way to win is to never have to fire that shot in the first place. That's why de-escalation isn't weakness. It is the ultimate form of control.
From now on, no more guns, okay?
To get good at de-escalation, you have to flip a switch in your head. A lot of folks in the gun community talk about a warrior mindset, which is about hitting a threat head on. A warrior is a hammer looking for a nail. But for a private citizen, that's a dangerous way to think. Your mission is completely different. You're not an operator clearing a building. You're a guardian trying to pick up milk and bread. Think of the guardian as a home security system. Its primary job isn't to fight, but to sense trouble early and get everyone out safely. Your one and only mission is to get yourself and your family home. That's it. It's not about teaching someone a lesson, defending your honor, and it's certainly not about your ego. This guardian mindset changes how you calculate risk. It makes walking away from a loudmouth in a parking lot feel like a victory, not a retreat. It redefines a win as any day your firearm stays in the holster. Adopting this mindset is where real confidence comes from. It's the confidence that you don't have to prove anything. You have too much to live for, and that gives you the strength to swallow your pride and walk away. Once you've got the right mindset, you can build the skills on top of it. I break it down into 4 pillars. Number 1, long before you say a word, your body is talking. An aggressive person is scanning for either easy prey or a rival. You want to be neither. The goal is to be uninteresting and not worth their time. This means looking calm, aware, and confident. Keep your posture relaxed but upright. Don't square up and puff out your chest. That's an invitation to a fight. Instead, try angling your body slightly. It's less confrontational but keeps you mobile. Most importantly, keep your hands open and visible. Open palms are a universal sign of non-aggression. It shows you don't want trouble and keeps your hands ready. Make occasional eye contact, but don't get into a staring contest. Your expression should be neutral, not angry, not scared. You're sending a clear nonverbal message. I see you, I'm calm, and I'm not the victim you're looking for. Number 2, if you have to talk, think of their anger as a fire. Your words can either be gasoline or water. The goal is to douse the flames, not make them bigger. Keep your voice low, slow, and even. An agitated person will try to get you to match their energy. Don't take the bait. Use simple, non-challenging phrases. Forget clever insults. That's just throwing gasoline on the fire. Your script should be short and focused on leaving. Try things like, I don't want any trouble. You're right, my mistake. Let's not do this. I'm leaving now. Saying you're sorry even when you did nothing wrong is a strategic move to short-circuit someone's ego. They expect a fight. When you give them agreement instead, it often throws them off. Every word should be aimed at creating an exit ramp for you to move on.
I'm out of here, asshole!
Number 3, in any confrontation, the more distance and time you have, the more options you have. Your goal should always be to put more space between you and the threat. Distance gives you more time to react and lowers the intensity. While you're using calm body language and simple words, you should be subtly moving away. This isn't a sprint, it's a calculated withdrawal. If you're in a store, move down an aisle towards the door. In a parking lot, move towards your car or a better lit, more crowded area. Crowds are good because if you do it right, you have witnesses that you tried your best to de-escalate before using force. Every step you take away from the problem is a step towards winning. Don't get yourself cornered, and don't block the other person's way out either. You want to give them every chance to just let it go. And number 4, this is the most critical pillar. Your firearm is like the emergency eject button in a fighter jet. You only pull it when the plane is coming apart and you have absolutely no other way to survive. Using it at the wrong time guarantees a disaster. Displaying your firearm is an escalation. A firearm is a last resort tool. It should only come out when you are facing a credible and unavoidable threat of death or serious bodily harm. That's the red line. Has the person shown a weapon? Are they physically attacking you or someone else with a level of force that could kill or cripple? Are you unable to escape? Your efforts to de-escalate stop the moment an attack that crosses this line begins. But until that red line is crossed, your firearm must stay in the holster. Discipline to keep it there is the mark of a truly responsible armed citizen.
Because I'm a responsible devil.
Mastering these skills takes more than watching a video. It takes practice. I strongly encourage you to look for reputable, hands-on training in your area that includes de-escalation, verbal skills, and force-on-force scenarios. There's a far greater chance that we'll need our de-escalation skills than need a gun. Yet most gun owners don't train in such skills as often as training with their firearms. Let's run a quick scenario. You're in traffic. Someone cuts you off. You honk, and at the next red light, they jump out of their car and storm towards you. Your guardian mindset kicks in. Your mission is to get home safely. First, your doors are locked and windows are up. You've created a barrier. You're watching them approach, unarmed in this case, and you remain calm. Your hands are on the steering wheel, visible, and your face is neutral. You are just an observer. The person is now screaming at your driver's side window. You do not roll down the window. You refuse to throw gasoline on this fire. If you must say something, speak clearly through the glass. I'm not looking for a problem. That's it. You refuse to join their drama. Your eyes are scanning for an escape route, the traffic light, the open shoulder. You're banking time and options. Your hand is nowhere near your gun. He's yelling and pounding on your window. That's scary, but it's not the time to hit the eject button. The glass is a barrier. In most jurisdictions, this alone is not a deadly force threat yet. You would only consider your firearm if he starts smashing the window to physically attack you and you have no way to escape. However, the instant the light turns green or a path clears, you are gone. You're executing a withdrawal. By using this framework, you've navigated a volatile situation without it blowing up. You won. True confidence is quiet. For the armed citizen, real strength is found in restraint. It's in the discipline to walk away, the wisdom to put safety over ego, and the skill to dismantle a threat with a clear head. De-escalation isn't being passive, it's about being in control. Your firearm is the fire extinguisher on the wall, there to help you survive the worst day of your life. De-escalation is the fire prevention you use every other day to make sure that day never comes. Let's be blunt. Carrying a firearm for self-defense fundamentally changes your responsibility in any conflict. It raises the cost of every single bad decision. An argument that might have ended with a shove and some hurt feelings now has the potential for lethal consequences. This is why de-escalation isn't some soft skill. It ought to be a core principle for any armed citizen. Master these skills. Adopt the guardian mindset, because the fight you avoid is the only one you truly guarantee to win. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and watch the next video right here. Train hard, often, and safely, and I'll see you at the range.